Hello and welcome back. And today we're playing Ring Road. And it's really more of a donut right now that you can see in the thumbnail. But you've got Sleuth there driving one of his usual classic cars around literally a ring road. The road doesn't go even anywhere. Round and round he goes. Hopefully that's not what we're going to be doing in today's Sudoku puzzle. And there will be actually a path and a way forward. So let's take a look at the rule set and see how we get on today. So, Ring Road by CaptZebraCakes. So we featured a few puzzles from CaptZebraCakes, and they tend to be quite clever puzzles. It's a very simple set of rule sets today. It's literally only just normal Sudoku rules and what looks like killer cage rules and nothing else. So, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. That's normal Sudoku rules. Digits in a cage cannot repeat and sum to the value in the top left corner of the cage. So for example, and I'm struggling with an example, if this cell here, for example, is a 2, because this is a 10 cage, you can see the 10 there in the top left corner, you can see the outline of the 2 cells with that dashed line. This would have to be an 8 to make sure that these 2 cells add up to 10. These 2 add up to 15, 11, 13, 13, and so on and so forth. And that's literally all the rules that we have in for today. I'm not entirely sure I see the Ring Road reference. I mean, we've got 8 digits that we have in store for today. So this is highly unusual for this channel. I'm almost exclusively used to the fact that we get 0 digits to start. So this will be interesting. And if you want to play along, if you want to drive around this ring road and hopefully escape it, not just round and round we go, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. Sorry, I'm just taking it all in. What I'm looking at right now is none of the killer cages necessarily are forced. So you can see some of the cages, such as the 15, they're very restricted. Actually, this cage is somewhat forced because 8, 7, 6, and 5 is forced. If I don't place a 9 in here, the only options that I have left are 2, 3, and 4. That only gets me to 9. So 9 is definitely in here. And then I need 4 in 2 digits, which would be 1, 3, and these would be 2, 4 to complete box 5. But I really don't think this is what the title of the puzzle is about. Right, here's something. Let me do this. So let's just literally think about it by going up each of these numbers for a second. So 1, just follow it along. Where does 1 go in box 3? Can't be inside a 15 cage with a 14. Can't be inside an 11 cage with a 10. So 1 is definitely down here. Let's continue the same logic. Yeah, that is the ring road. 1 all the way down here to box 9. Can't be in the 13 cage with 12. That's 1. Now 1, yeah, because of these, and this 1, is forced to be amongst the 10 and 15 cage. And that gives me a 1, 9. Right, let's see if we can do the same thing. I mean, I'm sort of tempted to think about these cages in the middle because I can see with that 1, 3, 9 and these ones, we've restricted it somewhat. So I may just pencil mark these just in case they come up to something useful. Again, can't be inside the 11 cage with a 10. So 1 is restricted into one of these 3 cells, and again, not this cell because of the 1, 3, 9. 2. 2, well, no, it can be inside the 11. Let's try the other way around. It's not in the 15 cage. There's a 2 in here. Again, 2, it's not in the 12 or the 14. They're too big. There's a 2. And there we go. 2 and 2. They're all excluded. That is 2, 9. This is a very clever puzzle. 2, 9 in here. How does that help? I mean, the 1, 9 and the 2, 9, they both help. It tells me that this 15 cage and this 15 cage are 7, 8. There's only 2 ways of doing 15. It is either 6, 9 or 7, 8. And neither of these can be 6, 9 since I have used the 9 in the 10 and 11 cage respectively. 3 then. 3 definitely cannot be inside a 13 cage. It would require a 10. So there's a 3 in here. Sorry, 3. There are no 3s there, so there's a 3 in there. We've got the same pattern again in box 1. The 3 must be inside one of the 12 or 14 cage. It can only be inside the 12 cage, and that's probably big, yes. 3, 9, looking at, that's got to be a 2, that's got to be a 9. 1, 9, that's looking at a 3, that's got to be 9. That actually helps me with the 14 cage, because that can be 5, 9 or 6, 8. It's not a 5, 9 anymore. That is 6, 8. 6, 8 is looking at 7, 8. That is a 7. That is an 8. I can see this is not 2, 9 or 3, 8. It's still 4, 7 or 5, 6. So I'm kind of tempted to go back to the ring road again and see if there is any other meaty revelations left. One thing that I can do is plug in some of these 3s. Just, you know, 3s, none of these are 3. And again, the 1, 3, 9, that's not a 3. So somewhat interesting, but not really. Let's see if we can do the same trick with 4. Not really. 4 you can see is in none of these cells. It's a 4. Again, 4 is in none of these cells. There's a 4. So 4 and 4, which means there's definitely a 4 inside that 13 cage. With that 9, I know then that the 4 is in one of 2 cells in here, with a 9 in one of 2 cells in there. Probably helps me with the 10, because that's not 1, 9, it's not 2, 8, and because of this 4, it's not 4, 6. This is 7, 3, and we know the order. That's 7, that's 3, that's not a 3, that's a 3. These are now 1, 5, 6, just to complete the box. That's not a 1. You can see the 7 gives me a 3, 7 pair in here, which actually helps me with the 13 cages. This is not, I've got 1, 4, 9. The other options are 5, 8 and 6, 7, and 6, 7 is not available anymore. So essentially I have a 5, 8 cage and a 4, 9 cage. And the 8 helps. This is a 4, 8 pair. This is a 5, 9 pair. And the 5 goes with the 8 and the 9 goes with the 4. We'll figure out which one it is in a bit. That gives me a 1, 6 pair. I can't actually resolve it, surprisingly. Okay, let's carry on this ring road for a second. 6 here means there is a 6 there. That's 2, 6. That is now 4, 5. 6, no, that's already placed. That's a dead end. Not sure about this now. Has the ring road kind of run out of steam now? Yeah, I could do 5, 6 for sure. I'm sure I could do the 11 with a lot of other options that doesn't include the 6. 6 in here. Again, I can do 5, 6 there. I can do without a 6. Oh, hang on, 7, 8. That's a 6. That's an 8. The 6, I think, is now, yes, it is forced inside the 11. That is 5, 6. So use your pencil mark, Sleuth. That's a common mistake for me. No 5s here is probably helpful. We'll come back to that in a second. But these 2 cells now are known. They are 2 or 7. And that can't be a 7. That's the 7. That's the 2. That's another 2. These 2 cells are now known. This is a 4, 5 pair. I can pencil mark all of these now, but I just want to carry on thinking about ring roads for a moment. It feels, the puzzle feels far too clever to just sort of fizzle out at this point. 6s, we're done. I think we're done with 6s. That would be fair to say. We're done with 6s. I haven't really thought about 5s, actually. Here is something. We may as well do so. And I can see 6 is one of 2 places, 5 is in one of 2 places, but that's, if I'm honest, not what I'm after. The 7 I can see is only placed in here. So there's maybe a few things that I can complete, but I just want to, I will carry on with ring rows for a second. 7 up there, 7 is inside the 11 cage now. similar to what we did with the 6. You can see the 7s, all of that is done. That is a 4-7 pair. There's no forced order, there's nothing to sort of break it, but it gives me a 5. That's not a 5, that is 1 or 6. This is 1 or 6. I can't seem to be able to resolve this right now. 1-5 pair in here, that gives me a 6 there. That doesn't require a corner pencil mark anymore. That is a 4. We concluded, oh yeah, the 6 is now forced. That is the only place for a 6. That 5, Sleuth, pay attention. 6, 5, 1 and 1, 3 now are a pair. And this is a digit that we can just write in. 2. Have we got all the value out of 6? Not quite. I need to break some of these patterns a bit. Not entirely sure how to do so. Have we got everything we can out of 7? Only place for a 7 actually in this in row 9 is in here. So this is not 4-7. So is that the way to do it? It can be 2-9. It can be 3-8. It can't be 2-9. 2 and 9 are both looking at this cell. So it can't be 2-9, but I think it can be 3-8. 3 here, 8 there. It's not 4-7. And I think it can be 5-6. 6 is in one of 2 cells. That could be the 6. That could be the 5. No, it can't be 5-6. We've got them both here. That's a 3. That's an 8. 6 is now forced in here. 5 presumably is forced somewhere. Not sure. What do we have left in this column? We have 4, 7, and 5. That's not 4 or 5. That is a 7. That's a 4. That's a 5. That's a 7. These are known. They are 8 and 9. No, 8 gives us an order. That's 9. That's 8. Let's just see some more ring road action with 8s. If I can see any. I'm not sure I can. Yeah, I'm not sure I can. I just see that there is an 8 in here. 8, yeah, it's done as well there. 8 gives me a bunch of things though. 7, 8. That 7 surely gives me more. Yep, 3, 7. Hang on. Hang on. That was resolved ages ago. What did I do? I broke something. How did I break it? Rewind, rewind, rewind. It's too good of a puzzle to break now. That 8 gave me, hang on. Okay, this is broken. That 11 just cannot be 3, 8 because that would be 7, 8, 3, 7. It'll be 3, 8 and 7 between 4 cells, which is impossible. I made a mistake somewhere. Oh, come on, Sleuth. This is such a good puzzle. 5, 6. Why did I dismiss that? I dismissed it for, yeah, because that can't be a 5 and that can't be a 6. So it was never an option unless I made a mistake with this 6. But I don't think I did. That couldn't have been a 5, 6. Let's think about options again. That 2 says no 9, 2. 3, 8 we've proven doesn't work. Yeah, the 3 forces the 3 in here. 4, 7 leaves no 7 in row 5. Sorry, row 9. And then 5, 6 doesn't work. How did I break this? That's a shame. Where did I break it? I must have been earlier. Any of my maths wonky? No. 5, 8, 4, 9. No. 2, 9, 7, 8. All looks good. This is good. This is good. Yeah, this is good. I am not seeing it. No, that's a bit of a shame. So let me just revisit that 11 cage for a second. This can't be 2-9, we've got a 9. It can't be 3-8, we've got an 8. It can be 4-7, that's one option. It can be 5-6, that's another option. Maybe I jumped too quickly to the 7. Yeah, that might be it. So 5-6, that's another option. Okay, let's go back to the 11 for a second, because that was actually surprisingly restricted. Although it's less restricted after clearing up the grid a bit. Let's think. This is 1, 5, or 6. So 4, 8. We've got 1, 5, 6 left. It's not a 5. This is 1 or 6. Which actually gives me a different answer. This is a 5 than what I had earlier. This is a 1-6 pair. And the fact that there is a 5 in here means that this is a 4-5 pair. I mean, the fact that this is a 5 rather than a 6, I think is different. So no 5s in here. No 5 there. I mean, there can still be a 5 in the 11 cage or outside it. So not necessarily the way forward, but clearly I made a mistake with the 4-7 option. 11. 2-9 looks doable. 3-8 looks doable. 4-7 looks doable. And 5-6 looks doable. I mean, this is not the way forward. There has to be a 7 in this column. It can only be in here. I missed that earlier. This is 6-5. That gives me a 4. 5. I need now 2 and 7 in this column. This is the only place for a 7. That's a 2. That's a 2. I don't know if I played this differently now. I'm really doubting myself. Maybe I had a typo in here. I had to rewatch the video and see where I screwed up, because it's starting to look very similar to what I've already done previously. This 11 is not 9-2, is not 3-8. It can be 4-7 and it can be 5-6. I'm not going to iterate through all the options right now. 7 is done. 5 not done. 1 of 2. 6 1 of 2 again. And so that I don't keep revisiting this. That 1-6 though, it does behave differently. That's a 6. That's a 1. That's a 6. That's a 1. Yeah, that 6 was looking at that 1-6 ages ago and I ignored it. Never matter. 2, 4. In here, what do we need? We need 1, 3, and 4. Not great. That's not 1. That's not 4. That's not 3. Essentially, this is 1, 3, 8, or 9. It's not 1 or 3. This is 8 or 9, which gives me an 8-9 pair. That removes the 9 from here. That's not a 1. That's not a 3. Not quite enough to break things. I feel like I've lost some of the elegance of the solve though, so maybe I should get back to that. So I think we've done what we can with the 7s, haven't we? No. So we're forced with a 4-7 in here. That much is clear, which gives me a 5, gives me a 4. This is 1 or 6, and in fact it is 1 or 6, because that is 1 or 6 and there's nothing to resolve them right now. Nor resolve the 4-7. That's fine. So 7s, I think, yeah, we do need a 7 down here with an X-wing with the 7 in there. That's really all I'm going to get from the 7s. I think we've got all we can from the 5s. Sort of. There's a 5 in here. Yeah, not right now. 8s. 8 is in one of 2 places. 8s has to be down here. It's not inside the 11 cage, which is helpful, and it's another X-wing with these 8s. So it has to be this 11 cage. I am going to have to think through the numbers. So my options are 2-9, 9 here means that would be 9. That would be 2. Looks fine to me. Second option would be 3, 8. We've already discounted. 4, 7 we've already discounted. And then 5, 6 is the remaining option. 5 would have to be here. That would have to be the 6. Does that create something in here that resolves? If it is, it's proving a very tricky triplet to observe. 6 in here gives me a 1, gives me a 6, gives me a 1. There's no 1 in there. This is 3, 5, and 2. That's not a 5. That's not a 3. That looks like it can be anything. This is 6, 8, 9. That's a 9. Can't be 6 or 8. Two, 5. No, I'm not seeing it, which is like a real shame. It was such an elegant puzzle, and I'm sure that now that I've pencil marked it this much, it's sort of very hard to spot what is sort of the intended path by the constructor, which is like a real shame on my part. Sorry about that. Anyway, column 9, this is the only place for a 5. Don't know why I didn't see that 5, 9 pair earlier. It doesn't matter. That's a 5. That's another 8, 9. It's not an 8. That's a 9. That's an 8. That's a 9. That's an 8. Let's just crack on and actually solve this. We know what these are. They are 2 and 4. That's a 4. That's a 2. That gives me a 1, a 9, a 3, a 4, a 3, a 1. And then we're left with this sort of 2, 4 from the start. And all of these to figure out. So how are we doing for time? 20 minutes. A good chunk of it lost on shenanigans would be the best way to describe it. Have I missed some sort of horizontal thing since the start? Not to my knowledge. Let's think about what these are. This is 7, 8, and 9. That's a 9. That's an 8. That's a 7. That's not a 9. That's a 6. That's a 5. That gives me tons of stuff. This is a 2. That's a 9. That's a 1. That isn't a 1. This is interesting. Not necessarily resolved. 9, 6. Oh yeah, of course. The 9 must go with a 4, which helps me, I think. This will be, of course, 8, 5, which gives me the 7, the 8. This is now 3 or 7. It can only be a 3, 7, 3. I'm sure this will sort of resolve vertically, but let's just see what is left here on the table. That's the 1. I need 2 and 4 again. These 2 4s that are just sticking around all the way to the end. We've got a 2, 4 pair. That's a 3. That 5 that I place gives me a 2, a 4, a 2, a 4, a 2, a 5. That's a 7, that's a 4. That's a 6, and that's an 8 for the solution. It's a beautiful puzzle, CaptZebraCakes. I'm sorry I sort of messed it up halfway through, because that whole flow around the ring roads was just beautiful, very elegant. And then I think I just sort of lost it a bit. I may do this off camera, and if I figure out what was the intended path compared to some of the mess that I created here, because I'm sure the fact that we were given the 5, 6, and 7, 8 is meaningful. I just haven't quite got as much out of it as I should have. I'm sure if I don't spot it and I don't post something about it that you guys will point it out. But what a phenomenal puzzle. Hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. And bye-bye for now.